Rimuru and Iruma's Adventures in the Netherworld by MU1622. Found on Wattpad, fanfiction.net, and Archive of Our Own. Chapter 49. Alicrid's Appearance. Iruma point of view. The smoke creature retreats into my ring almost immediately, and I breathe a sigh of relief. The students who were walking towards me passed without saying anything, so they must not have seen the monster. Once they're far enough away to not see me doing what I'm about to do, I quickly look around and see a classroom door ajar and the inside is dark. I swing it open a little more, poke my head inside, and see that it is indeed empty. After slinking my way inside without anyone spotting me, I quickly shut the door and turn the light on. This is a blatant breaking of school rules. I'm not supposed to use a classroom without permission, so I really hope nobody walks in and finds me in here. I also don't want them to see the smoke creature either. I don't even know how a random student or teacher would react if they saw that thing. Come out now if you can hear me, I say hesitantly. Almost immediately afterward, a plume of smoke emerges from the ring on my right middle finger and forms into the same creature again. Ah yes, this is much better. Nice and secluded so we can properly get to know each other. My name is Alicrid, and I am the incarnation of the gluttonous feeder ring you're wearing. That's what my mentor, Miss C, told me I was, Alicrid explains. I wonder who this Missy person is. Author's note. Yes, Iruma misheard Ollie say Miss C. Alicrid? I struggle to pronounce his name a little. But you can just call me Ollie, Iruma boy. You already know my name? Well, I have been keeping an eye on you for a while now, waiting for the right moment to appear and assist you. Since I am the incarnation of that gluttonous feeder ring you're wearing, that makes you my master. But I get the feeling you wouldn't like me calling you that, would you? Ollie asks in an almost teasing tone. No, master, please. Iruma is fine. So, why exactly did you come out of my ring again? You're not hungry, are you, like the first time? The first time? Oh, you mean that time that Miss C mentioned. She said I caused you quite a bit of trouble, but I don't remember that clearly. Yeah, you caused some of my classmates to faint. Well, sorry about that, kiddo. I was so hungry at that time. That's all I can recall of that incident, actually. My, how annoying it is to not be able to remember things properly. The first somewhat clear memory I have is that time I dragged you to that weirdo that you were looking for, but even that is a little foggy. So, you said you appeared to help me with magic and be my friend? And the reason you didn't come out before was that you didn't think you were needed? Oh, not exactly. Miss C stopped me from showing myself to you right away since she didn't think I was ready. Only recently did she give me permission to come out and introduce myself to you. Otherwise, I would have come out and talked to you as soon as I gained full awareness. Full awareness? Sentience, my boy. That part of me is tied to your rank, since, in a way, we are linked closely by you wearing that ring. Only when you reached Gimmel rank did my mind clear, and I became fully aware. Wow, this is so much to take in. Well, don't worry about understanding everything at once, kiddo, because we're stuck with each other for the rest of your life, just like the ring is stuck to your finger. Who was this Missy that you mentioned anyway? That's one thing I can't tell you, unfortunately. I will be punished severely if I do, so until she says it's okay, her identity must remain a secret. Same goes for me staying a secret too. Don't tell your friends, don't tell your family, don't tell anyone, alright? If you do, they might ship us both off somewhere to be experimented on. Experimented on? I doubt Rimuru or Grandpa would let something like that happen to me, but the idea of it alone is enough to freak me out. Oh, but you don't have to worry about that as long as I stay a secret. On a lighter note, how about I help you with some magic? You need a lot of practice from what I witnessed from inside the ring, so we should get started right away. Wait, what do you mean I need a lot of practice? I thought I was getting pretty good at using magic. I've learned quite a lot from Grandpa, my classes, and Rimuru, so I thought I was finally getting a good grasp on how magic works. But apparently I'm still not good enough, according to Ollie. You lack elegance, imagination. Unlike those skills that your buddy lets you use, the magic here in the Netherworld is based on pure desire. It's the power to make your thoughts and wishes come to life. Author's note. Yes, I know Tenshura's skills are given to people based on their desires, but that doesn't mean that their effects after gaining them necessarily are. As a little exercise, how about you use that transformation spell on me? You know, that one you learned in class? Ali suggests. A while back, I learned the spell Cheruzal in class. I used it to change the color of a frog after the teacher called me to the front of the classroom to demonstrate it. That's the only time I've tried it, though, so I wouldn't say I'm very comfortable with it yet. On you? I ask, shocked that Ali would want me to use a spell I'm not very experienced with on him directly, right after saying I wasn't good enough at magic, too. Oh, don't worry about me. Just use your imagination and cast the spell. I'd like to have a more refined body than this one. Something with big eyes, a curvy body, and long, slender legs. I want to be a hottie. Imagine it. See it in your mind's eye. Okay. Let's see. Eyes, curves, long and slender. I try my best to picture something that meets Ali's requests, but I'm not sure if it's good enough. I'm also very nervous about messing it up and possibly hurting Ali somehow. Cheruzal! I call out the spell's name with my hand pointed at Ali. The results were not quite what I expected. I know the image in my head wasn't very well defined, but at least Ali seems to now match what I was generally going for. It's my best shot at the spell, though, so I hope he doesn't get upset if it's not perfect. He does have long, slender legs, one big eye, and I guess his body could be considered curvy. Not really, though. He still has those two characteristic horns on his head that were there before the transformation, and his body is more humanoid. His skin and clothing are both dark purple, his outfit resembling a suit with a long tailcoat. Also, the string of smoke connecting him to my ring now much more closely resembles a tail. Ali observes his new form for a moment. Ah, yes indeed. This is a big eye. I guess these are curves, and my legs are long. Ali says cheerfully with a little chuckle. Phew, I'm glad he likes it. Just as I'm breathing a sigh of relief, Ali suddenly yells. Where's your imagination? Ali yells, after suddenly flying inches from my face. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I quickly apologize, surprised by his sudden change in mood. What am I gonna do with you? Ali sighs defeatedly. Seeing my guilty, sorry expression, Ali perks up a little. Don't worry, Iruma boy. Even if it takes a long while, I'll whip your magic-using skills into shape, he declares. Thanks, Ali. I appreciate it, I say, still disappointed in myself for not meeting his expectations after he trusted me to use the spell on him. No problem. Next, you should attempt to cast that spell on yourself. You can look all freaky, too, Ali suggests. Wait, what now? Use it on me? After screwing up? I'm not sure I'm comfortable doing that. Well, I guess if I have to, I can try it on my clothes. That shouldn't do much harm if I mess up again. How about my clothes then? Cheruzal, I mutter before once again casting the spell. Huh? Oh, that's weak. See? No imagination, Ali says, looking disappointed again. I looked down at myself, and the only thing that changed about my clothes was their color. Instead of a mix of blue and white, my school uniform is now completely white. That was all I could think of off the top of my head. Let's step up the creativity. Next, try to imagine something you would never be caught dead in. We're going to force your imagination to work overtime, Ali urges. Something I'd never wear? I ponder. Let's see, something really expensive, maybe? No, Grandpa buys me pricey-looking clothes. Come on, chop chop, Ollie says, rushing me and applying pressure. Something I'd never wear. Something I'd never wear. Never, 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 never! Cheruzal! I cast the spell again, with my mind still frantically trying to come up with an idea. What I was picturing was not at all clear, which is a bad thing for spells like this, I think. Reluctantly, I once again looked down at myself to see the results of the spell. In my struggle to come up with an idea, I transformed my clothes into a dress. No! I desperately try to figure out a way to remove the transformation, but before I can come up with anything, the door to the room flies open, and Ollie quickly retreats into my ring. No! I can't let anyone see me like this! Who's in here? You need permission to use empty rooms. Omri sternly asks before trailing off after noticing it's me and the outfit I'm wearing. Her face immediately flushes red with embarrassment, and she slams the door shut. Wait, Omri! I can explain! I shout desperately. I scramble toward the door and stumble out into the hallway, still wearing the dress. Omri, please! Just wait! I plead to try to stop her from storming off. I didn't see anything, okay? I did not see anything, she says quickly, not bothering to even look in my direction as I chase after her in the thankfully empty hallway. No, Omri, you're misunderstanding, I yell as I grab her arm to stop her from trying to walk away again. This manages to stop her, and she turns and looks at me again. What do you mean? Omri asks sternly. I was practicing transformation magic and it went wrong. I swear, I don't like wearing stuff like this, I frantically explain to try to get her to understand. Practicing magic? She asks, her tone and expression softening a little. Yes! Oh, that makes sense. Sorry for jumping to conclusions, Iruma. I was just so shocked to see you wearing that, Omri mutters, still blushing. Yeah, I don't blame you for being surprised, I reply nervously. I think for a moment about how to change my clothes back, and the idea to use the same spell again pops into my mind. If I can transform them into this, I should be able to transform them back the same way, right? Cheruzel! I cast the spell again, this time properly picturing my school uniform as I do. There's a puff of smoke that surrounds me, and when it dissipates, my clothes are back to normal. Much better, I sigh. Well, I'll see you around, Omri. Could you maybe keep that little incident a secret, please? Yes, of course, Iruma. I will tell no one about it, I promise. Thanks, Omri. I leave to go to my next class, hurrying a little since I don't have much time left to get there. Omri point of view. I part ways with Iruma, glad that whole situation is over. I was so shocked when I stepped into the classroom and found him wearing a dress yet again. The worst part? He actually looked good in it. How is that even possible? I'm still very flustered as I walk down the hallway when I hear a commotion up ahead. All the students who are in the hallway are buzzing with gossip about something that must have just happened. I hear a few snippets of their conversation as I pass them, even though I wasn't paying much attention. Then I hear one of them mention Rimuru, and based on some of the other things I heard, it seems she's gotten into trouble for something. Rimuru is a member of the student council, and also someone my father tasked me with keeping an eye on. This means her breaking the rules is automatically my business, so I need to investigate and find out exactly what happened. Tell me what happened, I commanded the student who mentioned Rimuru. She was being dragged down the hallway by Professor Caligo. I think he was taking her to Chair Demon Sullivan's office. Nobody knows what she did wrong, though, but the professor looked very angry. I see. Thank you. First, she does something that upset Iruma, and now she made her homeroom teacher mad enough to drag her to the Chair Demon? What in the world is Rimuru doing? It is well known around Babbles that Rimuru and Professor Caligo don't see eye to eye, but this situation, as long as people aren't exaggerating, is on another level. Depending on how bad Rimuru's transgression is, I might have to report it to Father, and with how busy he is, I'd rather not have to do that. Next time I see her, I'll have to ask Rimuru about what it was she did to anger Professor Caligo that badly. Rimuru point of view. I came back and ate my lunch. I could tell that Clara stuck a few bites of it while I was gone, but it wasn't worth scolding her for. I don't really need food, and she didn't take much of it, so I just shrugged it off. How dare she? It's fine, Ciel. I don't care that much. With lunch now being over, I start heading to my next class, but I stop when I sense something strange. I've been keeping an eye on Iruma with my universal perception, but I haven't been putting a lot of attention to the process, pushing the view into the back of my thoughts. My attention was grabbed by a sudden surge of magical energy directly next to him, though. It seems familiar, and it should be since this isn't the first time I've encountered it. Is that what I think it is, Ciel? If you're referring to Alicrid, yes. He is manifested and is conversing with the boy, Master. I focused a little more, and it seems that Iruma is freaking out a little at Alicrid suddenly appearing, but he quickly ducked into a nearby room to hide him from the other students in the hallway. Well, I hope those two get along. Let me know if anything goes wrong between them, Ciel. Yes, Master. The rest of the school day is fairly normal, except for the fact that Iruma is still keeping his distance from me. He does seem a lot calmer, though, or maybe just distracted? That probably has to do with Alicrid appearing earlier. Either way, if he's not freaking out as badly because of it, that's a positive in my book. After getting home, Iruma almost immediately goes upstairs to his room, probably trying to avoid me more. I'll talk with him later when he's ready. I might as well let him rest some after school first. Iruma, point of view. What a day. Glad to be home, I go right up to my room and flop onto my bed. All the craziness that happened today has worn me out. First the stuff with Rimuru, then Ali appearing out of nowhere, then the incident with the dress and Omri seeing me in it. I've had enough. Without warning, Ali pops out of my ring again and sits on my pillow. You look quite tired here, my boy, Ali says. I am. Wait, no, it's not just that, is it? I stiffen a little, knowing what Ali is about to talk about. What do you mean? I ask. You're stressed and upset. I can tell, Ali says knowingly. Maybe a little. You know what happened yesterday, I reply quietly. Yes, I do. I witnessed the whole thing, you know. Yes, I know. You really should address this problem soon, kiddo. You should feel better afterward. Your sister seems to want to, so why don't you take the initiative and have a little talk with her? I'm not ready yet. Are you sure you'll be any more ready tomorrow? A week from now? Putting off your problem is not a good way to deal with them. I know. If you know that, then why haven't you done anything about it? Why aren't you downstairs right now talking this out? I'm scared, Ollie. Conquer your fear, then. Sitting here stewing in your fear does you no good, kiddo. I promise you'll feel better after fixing things with Rimuru. Why are you pushing me into this? Because you need a little pushing so that you can get over this mess. You've been moping long enough. Both of us know that. Come on. I've been with you for a while now, even if you weren't aware of it, so just trust me. I really do feel guilty for how I've been treating Rimuru since Walpurgis. The sad look she's been giving me every time I try to avoid her, and the concerned looks and questions from my friends and classmates. I've been upsetting everyone around me by not addressing this problem. Part of me knows Rimuru must have had her reasons for killing Buliran, even if I don't know them. I've been avoiding the issue because I don't want to face it, but I need to eventually, right? If you're worried about doing this alone, why not have your grandfather help? I'm sure he would help you discuss things with Rimuru. Yeah, with Grandpa. That would be easier, wouldn't it? If I get Grandpa involved, I think I could do this. And that concludes Chapter 49 of Rimuru and Iruma's Adventures in the Netherworld. Since both this chapter and the next one are under 30 minutes long, we are going to head right into Chapter 40 as a nice little bonus combining the two. Chapter 50. Explanations. Sullivan, point of view. They should both be home soon. You can do this, Sullivan. You chickened out earlier when Rimuru caught you off guard, but now you are mentally ready to face her. I'm pacing back and forth in the living room, trying my best to gather my thoughts. I haven't felt this nervous since asking Rimuru to protect Iruma for me a few months ago. Most of the time, I try not to think about how powerful Rimuru is, but right now, I must acknowledge that unpleasant fact. That's when I hear the sound of the main entrance's doors shutting, meaning my 2 grandchildren are home. Though, by the time I get over there, only Rimuru is still nearby. The only evidence of Iruma having come home is the sound of his footsteps going up the stairs to his room. "Hey," Rimuru greets me casually. "Hello," I greet her back. "Did you need something?" she asks. "You can do this, Sullivan. Just ask the question. Even though she's a demon lord, Rimuru won't react badly. You know this already." "Rimuru, I need to ask you some more serious questions about what happened during the Walpurgis," I say, having mustered up enough courage to confront her on this. Rimuru sighs before addressing what I said. "Well, it's not like I wasn't expecting this. Sure, we can talk now." "Why don't we sit? I expect this will be a long conversation." "Sure." "Opera, you should join us." Yes, Lord Sullivan." Rimuru and Opera follow me to the living room. I sit in one of the armchairs while Rimuru flops on the couch and gets comfortable. She leans on one of the arms of the couch, resting her head on one hand and drumming her fingers rhythmically on her knee with the other. "Fire away, Grandpa Sullivan." "Tell me what happened yesterday," I say, putting on my best serious tone and expression. Rimuru's eyes widen a little. She seems slightly taken aback by how commanding I'm being with her. I convince myself I need to be like this, though, since this is a serious issue. "Yeah, sure. We arrived at Walpurgis and conversed some with the other demon lords. Irma sat in my place, just like we planned. Things were going well enough until the new guy started insulting everyone there. I can put up with some nasty words, but then he started insulting Tempest. That's when I started to lose my temper. I'm a relatively patient person, but even I have my limits." "Why would someone insult an entire group of demon lords? That's the height of foolishness," I say, shocked that anyone would be dumb enough to do something like that. Demon lords are immensely strong, so why would anyone intentionally insult even a single one, let alone an entire room filled with them? Not sure, honestly. All I know is that if it wasn't for the rule I added a while back to let new candidates talk and be voted out before being killed, one of the others would have taken him out long before I did, Rimuru replies, still keeping a casual tone despite the serious subject matter. "Wait, she has enough influence to change the rules the other demon lords follow? I knew that Rimuru was a very influential figure in her world based on what Diablo told me, but still, that's not something small." "You came up with a rule to give newcomers a better chance?" I ask, wanting more details. "Yep." "I suppose that's consistent with your personality?" I respond with a nod. Yeah. I'm not too fond of fighting or killing, to be honest, which is considered odd for a monster like myself. I'm generally a pacifist, only taking action after my enemy makes the first move. This has caused me some trouble in the past, but it's just how I am," Rimuru continues to explain, rubbing her head and looking awkward while talking about herself. "What kind of trouble, if you don't mind me asking?" I reply, my curiosity piqued by what Rimuru said. "Oh, someone I thought was my friend betrayed me multiple times before trying to destroy the entire world as we knew it. He kind of succeeded too, but thankfully I managed to reverse that whole mess," Rimuru says in a casual tone. "Destroy the entire world? Excuse me?" "Is that a joke?" I ask, raising my voice in disbelief after a moment of silence. "Nope," Rimuru responds bluntly. Opera's eyes are bugging out as he processes what was just revealed to us. "I knew Rimuru was powerful, but saving her entire world from destruction? I could never have imagined my adopted grandchild." Opera and I gawk at Rimuru for a moment, still in shock from the ridiculous things she just said. "Everything's all good now, so you don't have to make faces like that, you two," Rimuru says, laughing uncomfortably at the silence that now fills the room. "I'm sorry, I'm just in shock," I respond, still very surprised. Yes, I would have never considered," Opera mutters. "I guess that's understandable, but I hope you get the point of me telling you that. I can't let blatant threats walk away scot-free. That's why I did what I did," Rimuru continues to explain. Yes, I do understand why letting a dangerous foe continue to be a threat would be irresponsible for someone in charge of as many people as you are. Obviously, you know what you're doing based on how prosperous Tempest seemed while I was visiting. There is one thing I'm wondering about, though. Didn't you say before that Buliron posed no threat? That was why Iruma was allowed to come along with you.
He didn't pose any threat with me around. Let me make that perfectly clear. But I can't take the risk of him or his subordinates possibly attacking my citizens at some point. Compared to my strongest people, he's nothing. But to the average Tempestian, he'd be a dangerous Majin to leave alive. As someone with many people relying on my decisions, I can't just sit on a potential threat and let it fester.
Yes, that does make sense for someone with as many responsibilities as Rimuru. She is not always around to defend her people, so she has to eliminate any potential threats before they harm her citizens. So you were worried about him coming back and potentially hurting someone else you are responsible for, not necessarily Iruma. I think I understand, I reply.
I'm glad you get it, Sullivan. So I'm going to move on to the rest of what happened, all right?
Yes, please continue. Rimuru clears her throat before talking again.
After dealing with the insults for a painfully long time, he started saying some particularly nasty things about my people and country, and Irma said something back on my behalf. I was impressed by the confidence he showed, but then Buliron retaliated by throwing a silver, paralysis-imbued, poisoned knife at him. And just so you know, even if he didn't manage to dodge, the barrier I put on him would have protected him from it. But the fact that Buliron directly attacked him was enough to make me step in and take over.
That's good. After what Iruma told me, I was afraid my precious grandson was in real danger. If Rimuru had him protected all along, that eases my nerves quite a bit. And that led to you ending that man's life. Iruma being attacked was the trigger, I say, putting the pieces together.
Essentially, yes. I don't take kindly to people I care about being attacked like that. But it's not like all my reason flew out the window. I didn't attack him on the spot, but I did step in and intervene at that point.
Yes, if things got that tense, it would be best to pull Master Iruma out of that situation, Opera adds. Yes, I'm glad that you stepped in when you did, Rimuru.
Yeah, I'm glad I did too. Up until that point, it was just words being exchanged. But when things got violent, I decided it was time for me to stop messing around. After that mess, we all took a vote and nobody accepted him. He'd already challenged me by throwing that knife at Iruma, but I still gave him one more chance to back down. He didn't, of course, not like I expected him to, so I set the room up to fight him. He did, and said a few more nasty things before it actually started, but that didn't matter much, since he already forfeited his right to live the moment he decided to fight me.
Then you ate him, didn't you? Opera asks, a little fearfully.
Iruma mentioned that? Yes, I used my magic to consume Buliron in an instant, but not immediately. I would have killed him quicker, but he brought up something that he shouldn't have, so I lost my temper.
In a mere instant? Opera says, the fear in his eyes appearing to grow. Opera, go get some air, I order him. Yes, sir, Opera mumbles as he leaves the room. I can't help but wonder what would upset Rimuru that much, but I think asking right now would be a bad idea. If simply bringing it up is enough to anger her, I think I'll avoid the subject for now. So what I'm getting is that this man intentionally provoked you into attacking him by not only attacking Iruma, but insulting you as well?
Yes, he came in clearly asking for a fight from me in particular. I think that's partly the doing of one of the other demon lords, though. He likes to cause problems to see how I'll react, and I think he influenced Buliron's opinions about me. That doesn't change Buliron's actions, though, so it didn't affect what I decided to do. I still didn't make him suffer nearly as much as I could have, but I did beat him up pretty badly before finishing him off. Buliron's personality was too troublesome to let him continue to live. He'd just come back again and again, asking for more and provoking me further. I pinned Buliron to the floor, having decided that I'd punished him enough, but just as I was about to end things, I noticed something. Iruma was banging his fists on the barrier and pleading with me not to kill Buliron. It wasn't until a moment of quiet happened that I personally noticed Iruma's reaction to what was happening. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying much attention to Iruma in the heat of the moment. CL, my partner that you met a while back, was taking care of that for me, but when it comes to other people's feelings, she's not the most sensitive, you could say. I was doing my job, and Iruma didn't like what he saw. As I already said, I regret having him see me kill Buliron, but I don't regret my actions outside of that.
I know you somewhat explained your reasons before, but why exactly did you bring Iruma with you?
He's too timid. I'm worried that once I eventually leave him, he won't make it here. I thought that him being put in a situation where he has to act confident might help make him more assertive. I considered Walpurgis a safe environment to test this, since I know all the heptagram members personally, and a good amount of them are even my friends and allies. I can tell the political environment here is getting a little tense. Not that I want to interfere with that mess. Demons going back to basics, like Kiriwo. I feel like there will be more of them in the future, and I want Iruma to be ready to face them if he needs to. I finally understand Rimuru's motivation for taking Iruma along with her. She was worried that he might not survive after she goes back home permanently. I can't say I wasn't thinking the same thing myself, just like Rimuru said. The number of demons going back to basics is rising, and unrest is growing here in the Netherworld. Things obviously didn't go to plan, and that led to our current situation.
I agree that the Netherworld has been growing more dangerous, especially for a human like Iruma. I'm glad that you are also considering this, but putting him in that situation.
Yes, I know I screwed up, Rimuru says, looking down at the floor before looking at something behind me. Oh, Iruma. I look and see Iruma standing in the doorway, looking hesitant about interrupting us. Are you ready to talk? Rimuru asks. Yes, I need to, he says, appearing to be mustering up some courage.
Iruma point of view.
Here I am, standing in front of Rimuru, finally facing the fear I've been experiencing. She's sitting on the couch, looking regretful about something. Can you explain to me why you killed Buliron? Not just with I had to, but something I can understand better, I say, finally getting out the words I've been stewing on. Do you understand how demon lords work in my world? Not exactly. Claim the title, and that gives the others free rein to kill you if they want. If you're not powerful enough to survive, then you die. No ifs, ands, or buts. Buliron attempted to claim the title, putting his neck on the chopping block, but survived for as long as he did because of me, Rimuru explained seriously. They kill you simply for calling yourself a demon lord? And what did Rimuru mean by saying she was responsible for him being alive as long as Buliron was? I don't understand, I respond. I made the rule that kept him alive until after the vote. Remember how Guy said that I already forgot my own words? Well, that's what he was talking about. I didn't like all the senseless killing, so I changed the rules to allow more candidates to state their case and join based on words, not strength. I didn't like all the senseless killings, so I changed the rules to allow new candidates to state their case and join based on words, not strength. So you made a rule to minimize the killing? Exactly. I don't enjoy killing. I only do it when I have to. Maybe fighting is fun on occasion, but not killing. Please understand that, Iruma.
Yes, my precious grandson. Someone in Rimuru's position must do things that they don't want to sometimes. It is something that comes with being in charge of other people.
Just what he said, Iruma. But I saw you smiling while attacking him, I protest, remembering the smile Rimuru was wearing during part of her torturing of Buliron. Smiling doesn't mean someone's happy, and I promise you that I was anything but happy during that fight. Oh. Hey, it's okay. It's understandable that you read that wrong, so don't worry about it. Your main issue is the fact that I killed Buliron, not that I fought him, right? Yes, I still don't understand why you had to go that far. You had him on the floor, completely helpless and beaten. Why couldn't you just put him in jail or something if he was a threat? Someone at his level isn't very easy to contain. I'd have to dedicate a lot of resources to something like that. It's not practical, and there's nothing to gain from it. Yes, he lives, but it's not like Buliron would be happy in a cell. He wouldn't learn his lesson. He wouldn't change. He'd stay the same person he was because that's how people like him are. Rimuru, I don't know what to think. My world is harsh, ruthless, and often cruel. I've done my best to remove that aspect from the daily lives of my citizens, but when it comes to those with power like myself, that's often still the reality. I learned this lesson the hard way, many times over. Learned this the hard way? Are you saying that you've had to kill before? I ask. Yes. Tempest has gone through a few wars in its short life, none of which were started by me or my people. I've had to kill to protect the people I care about, just like I killed Buliron to protect you and potentially my citizens in the future. Never without reason, though. So you felt like you had to kill him? Yes, I can't let someone with a dangerous personality like his walk free. He would come back and cause worse problems. I can't say I completely agree with you, but I think I can accept it. I mumble. I still feel like killing is wrong, but now I understand better what caused Rimuru to do what she did. It wasn't just what happened at Walpurgis that caused her to kill him. It was the potential issue that could come up later on if she let him go. She has a whole country to protect, and it sounds like bad things have happened to Tempest in the past. Rimuru already told me about an incident that she blames herself for, the one that spurred her to become a demon lord. Hey, you don't have to fully agree with someone to be their friend. I just want you to know that you don't have to be scared of me ever hurting you, okay? Rimuru says, giving me a genuine, reassuring smile. Her golden eyes are filled with warmth, unlike the coldness when she was fighting Buliron. This is the Rimuru I know, not the side of her that scared me. I knew that, but you really scared me, you know? I've never seen you like that before, I admit, looking at my feet. I know, Iruma, and I'm sorry for that. I won't kill in front of you again, I promise, Rimuru says, still smiling at me as she places one hand on my shoulder comfortingly. Thank you, Rimuru. I'm sorry for avoiding you. I was just so scared after seeing that side of you. I do feel guilty for the way I've been acting the last day or so. I know for a fact that it's been upsetting Rimuru, but I couldn't help it. I'm still scared, but I think I can push that fear aside and focus on the positives. That's what I've always done when I've been in a bad situation in the past. Look at the light of things. The next day, Rimuru point of view. I'm glad that I made up with Iruma yesterday. I don't think things are back to the way they were beforehand, but that's okay. When friends fight, it takes time for their relationships to recover, so I'll just give it time and be careful not to scare Iruma again in the meantime. I end up walking with him to school again, this time actually walking with him and not behind him like yesterday. Az and Clara seem relieved that we're not fighting anymore, too. You really had me concerned, Master Iruma. Sorry, Az. It didn't take long before we reach class again, and I sit down in my usual spot. Part of the class goes by before it's interrupted by something.
Student Council President, please come to room 3 immediately.
A voice comes over the intercom. It's distorted and fuzzy, making it somewhat hard to actually understand. Seems like the thing's broken, I say, to nobody in particular. Yes, there does seem to be something wrong with it, Az responds. He's sitting nearby with Iruma, just like usual. I don't pay it much mind, since it's not like maintaining the school's equipment is my responsibility. The class goes on normally for a little while before the intercom turns on again.
Rimuru Tempest, please come to the Student Council room immediately.
The intercom says, no longer sounding messed up and broken. Weird. Any clue what this is about? I'm guessing it has to do with Omri getting called to the prep room a bit ago. Do you really want a spoiler, Master? Oh, so it's something interesting then? Sure, I can be a bit patient. I stand up, everyone in the room looking at me with curiosity. Do you have any clue what that is about? Caligo asks sternly, looking irritated that his class was interrupted. I simply shrug, since I have no clue yet, and walk out. And that concludes Chapter 50 of Rimuru and Iruma's Adventures in the Netherworld. I hope you enjoyed, my lovelies, and I will see you all next week on Saturday. I have been working ahead on these and actually building up a stock again so that hopefully you guys shouldn't have to miss any uploads and they should all come out on time. My goal is to get the entire thing finished, recorded, and uploaded and scheduled out so that I can do anything else I want to with the channel, or maybe take a break, or even just have a little bit of extra gap time and wiggle room before starting the next series to figure out what I'm gonna do next and, well, getting permission to do whatever I'm gonna do next, and then getting hopefully a backlog of that one started recording too. But enough rambling. Bye-bye. I'll see you all next week, my lovelies.